figure out what it is for you that makes sense for you. It feels very shaped for me. You've got to feel the fear and then you do it anyway. On the other side of your fear are your greatest opportunities and possibilities. If you're not happy in your life, you have the power to change that. How am I going to move forward in my professional life? Have not known what I'm doing with my life. Hello. Welcome back to another TIFF Talk. It is Wednesday, the 22nd of November, and we are 6:29 p.m. 8 weeks ago, I could not get out of bed. I can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. There are so many lessons that I have learned this year and embodied. One of the main lessons that I have learned is that if it gets too much, that we need to learn to stop and take a break and create some space. Because until we do that, when you're all caught up in the frenzy and the rat race and just the drama or the overwhelm or the stress of whatever your current situation may be, you're never going to figure it out if you're still so in it. It is so important to stop, rest, take a break, gain some proximity so that you are able then to create some space. And that's exactly what I've done. 8 weeks ago, I was at the top of the burnout, and it's been since then that my life in the last 8 weeks has been very different to what it was the 8 weeks prior to that, and then this entire year. And then really, if we're looking at my professional life, like for more than 3.5 years. And finally, I can say that things are now starting to shift. I'm not going to share too much in detail. However, I have now just recently, very recently, I have found a new direction forward. And I'm very, very excited. And there's going to be some changes. I'm going to be learning more and up-leveling every area of my life. I am now very excited about the new year. It's been tough. It's been challenging. It's been confusing. It's been a lot in the last 8 weeks. There have been moments when I really have not known what I'm doing with my life. And maybe you're thinking, okay, why am I going to click on to another one of these long talking head videos that I have created? If you are or not, again, I thank you so much for following along my journey. And again, as I was creating this content a few months ago, when we talk about personal branding, it's such the buzzword now. Be your own brand, right? We all can become our own brand and have a personal brand. And something that I really love about long form content here with YouTube and also with video podcasts and also with podcasts is that it really allows you having that long form, having that longer time to consume somebody's content, their message, and whether or not you speed up that playback speed. However, I feel that there is a lot of importance and value that you can gain when you consume somebody's content for longer than a reel that may be 15 seconds or 30 seconds. And that's something that I realize when it comes to content creation, that I enjoy consuming myself and that I enjoy as well creating. There are all forms of content that I like to create. However, the long form content in YouTube has been a favorite of mine for a long time. And I do frequently, daily consume long form content. Yes, I do speed up the playback speed. And the reason why I'm sharing that is because all my videos will add to the story of you getting to know me and why you may be a subscriber and why you may be following me. And I talked about in my last video the common questions that people ask me. And because I've been coming into my own reflection and I've been coming into my own way forward thinking, how am I going to move forward in my professional life online? Obviously, it's not going to be with the previous business model. And now I have found a way creatively and professionally forward. And I'm very, very excited. And this feels, and it just seems to fit it just seems to fit better. And that's something that I talked about and something maybe you may be experiencing yourself, that I think a lot of us just stay in the safe zone and we coast along and we're really living lives and working in a certain way where we're not entirely fulfilled. And I understand that at times we need to work certain jobs, or let's say if you're in a relationship or you're in a situation and, at that moment, you may not exactly be able to leave. Of course, there's a divine process and timing to everything. However, I believe that if you have an intention and your plan and a vision for you to figure out the best way to change your life. Okay, maybe this is not making sense. Basically, if you're not happy in your life, in your work life, in your financial situation, with your friendships, with your relationships, with your health, you have the power to change that. I think a lot of us make excuses. Oh, it's not the right time. Oh, I don't have the money. I don't have support. I don't have the skills. I'm too scared. And the reason, if you stay with me here, I've been watching just recently a lot more content on YouTube and on Instagram specifically about big wave surfing. There has been some really, really large swells in Nazaré in Portugal. There are people that I've been following there through social media, two girls, one girl that I know more closely, and then another girl that I follow through social media. I've been following their journey there, as well as the other men there. And then I've also recently been watching on YouTube different documentaries and just content about the big wave surfers. And they all talk about on the other side of your fear are your greatest opportunities and possibilities and accomplishments. If I've learned anything this year, that it's not that these big wave surfers, or even if I can relate, that it's not that they say or claim that they're fearless. For me, I still have fears. I've had fears of surfing. I have other fears when it comes to my life in other areas. However, in my experience, specifically this year, when it comes to my professional life now, when it comes to, there's a big undertaking now again, when it comes to finances. I can't explain too much in detail on that, but you've got to feel the fear and then you do it anyway, because it's on the other side of those fears is where the greatness is. And I've experienced that this year surfing the Bommy Wave at Uluwatu, which I'm sure by now you've heard me speak about a lot. It's also been on the other side of ending a relationship that was, at the time, it was so scary for me. Although it was what I needed to do, it came to, I mean, that's what I had to do. It's also scary stepping away from the previous business model that I was aligned with for more than 3.5 years. And on the other side of the fear is then where you can actually start to move forwards towards what you deserve and what you dream about and what you're capable of and what you are destined to accomplish. And I've now finally seen the light, and I now feel that I've moved away from the fear of stepping away from my previous business model. And now I've found a new direction forward, and it's very exciting and it feels very suited for me. It feels very, I'm going to use the words again, aligned for me. It feels very shaped for me. I don't even know if that's a word. I think you know what I mean. I know that maybe you may be watching and there's maybe some area of your life, and whether it's your own health, your fitness, whether it's surfing, whether it's with business, whether it's in relationship or friendship, that you're unsatisfied. Please know that you can change that. And please know that if you just have, and this is what I was listening to Garrett McNamara, big wave surfer. He said his goal in life has been, and what he shared with, he had an interview with Rich Roll, and he shared about if you have something that you really, really like, and better yet, if you love, then make that your focus and do then everything that you can to build your blueprint, your strategy into being able to make that your career or your focus or your commitment. And I've seen that in the past for myself. And maybe you also have seen that in your own life, because we can all change. Once upon a time, I was a professional dancer, and then I switched and I became an aerialist acrobat. And then that evolved and I retired. And again, something that you may start and be really focused on for many, many years. And this also could be including, relationships and friendships. There's a reason, a season, and a lifetime for certain relationships and phases in our life. And that's professionally and for relationships and friendships. And something that you thought maybe a few years ago was your love and your passion, and that was it, then through time and your own personal and life evolution, that will change. And then it's continuing to keep defining and creating the clarity around what it is. And I go through these questions again. What is it that you love? What is it that is of most value to you? What kind of life do you wish to create? What kind of person do you wish to become in the future? What kind of life and self do you see yourself in life in the future? And to then think about, what is it that you need to let go of in order to create that? What do you need to learn? Who do you need to ask for support? These are beautiful, empowering questions. And there's some training when I listen to, I have training that I purchased a long time ago, and they came out with like a second part 2 for Video Ranking Academy. One of the first lessons that they teach you when it comes to creating and building and monetizing your YouTube channel is to answer specific questions. And then if I relate this to trainings that I've had when it came to my business and mindset training through the previous community and business that I was aligned with, it was really whether you're on a sales call and you're asking somebody to answer empowered questions or direct the focus back to yourself, answer specific empowered questions. You're going to continue to keep asking yourself those questions because nothing stays the same. And it's really important to acknowledge that and then to embrace the changes. And it's been difficult for me in the last couple of months to embrace those changes. And it is difficult, especially when you may not know what it is that you're moving towards. And so in the last few months, I've been diving deep into consuming content and allowing myself to be supported with my spiritual and my healthy practices, and to be around also friends who can hold space for me and I can have, beautiful conversations with when it comes to moving my life forward. Fortunately, through my own intuitive guidance, I am excited because I'm going to be moving forward in a professional and creative way that is very aligned for me. That's something maybe you want to question for yourself at the end of this year. If you look at the different areas of your life, where can you now, a lot of people set those New Year's resolutions, right? I think that it's really key to start to get clear and be honest and use discernment on the areas of your life that you may be feeling unfulfilled and unsatisfied and feeling a little bit like cloudy about. Use this time now to really let go of what is not serving you for your own higher self, for your best self, and then allow yourself to do the research and ask for the support. And whether you call on your spiritual guides or speak to a therapist or friend, or do what you need to do in order to start to get ahead now for the coming new year, which is going to be 2024. I think that's something that I am really proud of myself this year, that I've really been able to step into my self-worth and confidence, that I'm still continuing to move forward when it comes to really mastering my mindset and feeling really empowered with my mindset. Because most of the time in the last few months, when I felt very unsure and very insecure, and I felt very down and I felt very confused and I felt not good when it comes to stepping away from what I was doing before. And this has been a big year of big changes for me. Relationship obviously ending, and then now stepping away from the business that I was aligned with more than 3.5 years, almost 4 years. And fortunately, I have been able to pull through because I have done this year, and I continue to do work to strengthen my mindset and my energetics and my frequency. And they may be like, to some of you, if you're watching woo-woo words, or that may really make sense to you. I truly believe in order to feel happy and successful and fulfilled and that you are creating an impact and contribution to the world and others, and you're living a life of purpose and meaning, figure out what it is for you that makes sense for you. It doesn't have to make sense for anybody else, but if it makes sense for you and feels good for you, then that's the path that you should follow. Okay, so I'm going to go. That was just like a super quick update. I will be again releasing more content, and I appreciate so much if you've made it to the end. I do appreciate your support, and if you'd like to subscribe, hit the subscribe button and leave me a thumbs up and a comment about any content that you'd like me to create. And I will see you next video. Thank you.